Everyone knows Kobe Bryant. Every single person watching this right now has a memory of him. Maybe it was watching him score 81 points on a January night in 2006. Maybe it was watching him lift that fifth championship trophy and cry in a way that made millions of people cry with him. Or maybe it was January 26th, 2020. Maybe you remember exactly where you were when your phone buzzed and you saw the headline and you read it twice because the first time did not make sense. That is how powerful he was. That is how deeply his story had embedded itself into the hearts of people who never met him, never shook his hand, never sat in those seats. But here is what nobody talks about. Here is the conversation that gets quietly avoided in every documentary, every tribute, every carefully produced celebration of his legacy. Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest human beings to ever compete in any arena on this planet. And Kobe Bryant paid a price for that greatness, a real price, a human price, a price that the highlight reels never show you, and the tribute videos never mention. Not the price of early mornings, not the price of extra hours, not the price of shots taken alone in empty gyms before the sun came up, the price of what his obsession did to the people who loved him, what it did to his teammates, what it did to his marriage, what it did to his daughters, what it did to every human being who tried to get close to someone whose entire existence was consumed by the pursuit of something that no achievement could ever fully satisfy. This is that story, not the version they sell you, not the poster version, not the Mamba Mentality t-shirt version, the real one. Stay with me. Kobe Bean Bryant was born August 23, 1978, in Philadelphia. His father, Joe Bryant, played professional basketball, and from the very beginning, it was clear that something different was happening in this child. But here is what most people skip right past. In his story, when Kobe was 6 years old, his father took the family to Italy to continue his career. 6 years old, and Kobe spent years in a country where he did not speak the language, not a word, where he had no friends, no familiar faces, no sense of belonging. In any classroom, on any street, in any neighborhood he walked through, he was completely alone, in a way that most adults have never experienced. And in that loneliness, in that isolation, basketball became something it was never supposed to become. It became everything. Not a game, not a hobby, not something he did after school. Everything. The one thing that made sense when nothing else did. The one language everyone understood. The one place where Kobe Bryant felt like he belonged. And I want you to understand something about what that means. When a child finds the one thing that rescues them from complete isolation, their brain does not treat that thing like a hobby. Their brain treats it like survival, and survival instincts do not turn off when the threat disappears. Kobe Bryant left Italy, learned English, made friends, built a life, became the most famous basketball player on earth, and his brain never stopped treating basketball like survival, because that is what it was when it mattered most. That origin never left him, and the people who loved him most felt the weight of it every single day. Let me tell you something about what it is like to love someone who is obsessed, not passionate, not dedicated, obsessed. It is like living next to a fire, warm, brilliant, mesmerizing to watch, and consuming everything it touches, everything in its orbit, everything that gets too close. Kobe Bryant trained when his teammates were sleeping. He arrived before anyone. He left after everyone. He watched film while his family was downstairs. He thought about the game during conversations that had nothing to do with the game. His teammates spoke about it with a very specific kind of exhaustion, not the exhaustion of effort, the exhaustion of never being enough, of being held to a standard that existed inside one man's head that could never be fully reached, because the man who said it was raising it every single day. Shaquille O'Neal. Let that sink in for a second. Shaquille O'Neal, 7 feet tall, 325 pounds, one of the most physically dominant athletes in the history of human sport, could not sustain sharing a space with Kobe Bryant's obsession, not because he was not great enough, because obsession at that level changes the air in a room. It changes what normal feels like, what enough feels like, what good enough feels like. And for a human being trying to live their life alongside that kind of intensity, it becomes genuinely exhausting. His wife, Vanessa, spoke in later interviews about what their home felt like. Not that he was absent. He was there. He was physically present. He loved her. He loved his daughters. But basketball was always in the room. Always. Even when they were having dinner. Even when they were on vacation. Even on the mornings when he was sitting right there, across the table. His mind was somewhere between last night's film session and tomorrow's practice. His daughters grew up with a father who was simultaneously the most present and the most absent man in their lives. There with his body, gone with his mind. And that kind of absence, the invisible kind, is the one that leaves the quietest and deepest mark. Now, I want to be careful here, because I am not saying the Mamba mentality was wrong. I am not saying obsession is bad, or that Kobe should have been less of what he was. What I am saying is something more nuanced than that. The Mamba mentality, as Kobe himself described it, is one of the most powerful performance philosophies ever articulated by any athlete in any sport. The idea of falling in love with the process, of relentless preparation, of attacking every single day as if it were the most important day of your career. That is real. That is powerful. That produces results that most human beings can only watch in absolute awe. But here is what Kobe began to understand. In his years after basketball, the Mamba mentality, as he had lived it, was a complete performance system. It was not a complete life system. And those are two very different things. A performance system optimizes for winning, for achievement, for the scoreboard, for the championship, for the legacy that the world outside will remember and celebrate. A life system optimizes for something harder to measure: presence, connection, the look on your daughter's face when you are actually there, not just physically, but completely there, with your whole mind, your whole heart, your whole self. Kobe knew this distinction. Those close to him in his post-retirement years describe a man who was actively, deliberately, sometimes uncomfortably, learning how to be present, how to sit in a room without mentally being somewhere else, how to watch his daughter play, not as a coach evaluating technique, but as a father, watching someone he loved do something she loved. He was learning, slowly, imperfectly, but genuinely, how to apply the Mamba mentality to the things that mattered even more than basketball. And then he ran out of time. If you want to understand the most important chapter of Kobe Bryant's life, it is not the championships, it is not the records, it is not even the retirement ceremony where the arena shook for 20 minutes straight. It is Gianna, because Gianna Bryant did something that 20 years of professional basketball could never do. She showed him what he had been missing when Kobe was competing. In the NBA, he was always the one, demanding more from everyone around him. Always the one, setting the standard, raising the bar, pushing and pushing, until something cracked, or until something became extraordinary. With Gianna, it was different. For the first time in his life, Kobe was not trying to make someone into a champion. He was trying to make someone fall in love with the thing he loved most. And in doing that, in trying to give his daughter the joy of the game rather than the obligation of it, he began to rediscover something he had lost somewhere in his teenage years. In Italy, the pure love of it, not the competitive love, not the obsessive love, not the love that came from what basketball gave him: recognition, belonging, identity, the simple, uncomplicated, joyful love of a ball, a court, and another person to share it with. He called coaching Gianna the greatest experience of his life, greater than any of the 5 championships. Think about that for a moment. A man who dedicated every waking moment of his existence to those championships, who sacrificed more than most people can imagine to win them, said that coaching his 12-year-old daughter meant more. That tells you exactly what he was finding in those final years. He was finding what had always been there, waiting patiently under the obsession: his humanity. Now I want to talk to you directly for a moment, not about Kobe, about you, because somewhere in this story, you have recognized something, have you not? Maybe it is the Italy years, the thing that became your obsession, not because you chose it, but because it saved you from something, and your brain never forgot. Maybe it is the invisible absence, the way you can be completely present physically and completely gone at the same time, and the people who love you feel it, even when they never say it. Maybe it is the Mamba mentality, the way you apply your highest standards to your work, your goals, your achievement, and somehow forget to apply the same intensity to the relationships that are sitting right next to you, waiting. Maybe it is the Gianna realization, the moment you caught yourself actually present, actually there, actually connected to someone you loved, and realized that it felt better than anything your ambition had ever produced. Kobe Bryant, at the height of his powers, was one of the greatest competitors who ever lived. And Kobe Bryant, in his final chapter, was becoming something even more rare: a person who was excellent and present, who was ambitious and connected, who had the Mamba mentality and the Gianna awareness, both at the same time. That combination is what most people spend their entire lives trying to find and never quite do. And here is the thing about his story that I cannot stop thinking about. He was almost there. He was so close to becoming that complete version of himself. And then January 26th arrived, and the world lost him before he could finish becoming who he was becoming. Here is the question I want to leave with you. Not about Kobe, about yourself. What do you want the people who love you to say about you when you are gone? Not your colleagues, not your professional network, not the people who follow you online, the people who are in your house right now, or who call you on Sunday afternoons, or who need you in the ways that have nothing to do with what you produce. What do you want them to say? Because here is what I have noticed about the way most people answer that question. When they answer it honestly, they do not say, I want them to remember how hard I worked. They do not say, I want them to remember my achievements. They say, I want them to remember that I was there, that I was present, that I showed up, not just physically, but completely, with everything I had, for the moments that mattered to them. And then those same people go back to their lives and pour everything they have into the things that will never say, I love you, into the career that will replace them when they are gone, into the goals that will matter to no one who matters to them, into the achievements that will be forgotten by the world far sooner than they will be forgotten by the child who just wanted them to put down their phone and be in the room. Kobe Bryant, in his final years, was learning this. He was learning that the championship and the presence are not opposites, that you can be the best in the world at what you do and still be fully, completely, unhurriedly there for the people who need you, that the Mamba mentality applied to your family, your friendships, your presence produces something more valuable than any trophy the world can hand you. He was learning it. Are you? On January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant woke up and did what the later version of him always did. He moved toward the people he loved. He was taking Gianna to a basketball game, not a championship, not a training camp, not anything that the obsessive version of him would have prioritized. A basketball game with his daughter on a Sunday morning, and he never arrived. There is nothing I can say that makes that okay. There is no lesson that justifies that loss. There is no reframe that makes January 26th anything other than what it was: a tragedy, an incomplete story, a version of Kobe Bryant that the world will never fully know. But here is what we do know. In his final years, he was choosing differently. He was showing up. He was present. He was learning to be both excellent and available, driven and warm. The Mamba and Gianna's dada, both. And that both, that combination, that refusal to choose between greatness and love, that is his real legacy. Not the 5 rings, not the 81 points, not the Mamba mentality poster on your wall. The lesson that the most complete version of a human life is not excellence alone or presence alone. It is both, together, at the same time, in the same life, for the same people. You have time right now that Kobe ran out of on a foggy January morning. Use it, not just on what you are building, on who you are building it for. Be excellent, be present, be both. That is how you honor him.